Alright, here is something new that I have not used yet. I actually met up with Stereo Dust Particles broadcaster, Ross ACB, as you may know him, and in exchange for a laptop and getting to borrow a camera, and also turned out also a particular a drink. I have 3 cameras here. This is one of them. This is a Samsung. I don't quite know much else about it other than it seems to be working. It's recording anyways, or claims to be. I don't know if it actually is. And the focus seems to be a little weird on it. The zoom works. Looks kind of weird. It's one of these full-sized cameras that's got not just power zoom, but also completely manual zoom. Okay, the focus does actually seem to be working and doing its one job. I don't know what else it's got yet, but I think what we're going to do, I'm not sure if any of these other units actually record. I was told that there was 1 unit that records and 2 that don't. So we're going to find out together if all of them record. I'm going to take this tape and I'm going to put it into this camera here. That one's a vhs-c, but this camera right here will be our next contestant. We'll see if it actually records or not. But this, like I said, is a Samsung. I don't know the model yet off the top of my head. The next unit is actually a Sanyo, of all things. It's a Sanyo model number VM-RZ1. Hope you can see that. No, it wants macro in order to do that. Okay, well, you know what? Whatever. I'll probably grab another vhs-c camera or something else, and I'll film all of these in potentially better lighting. I should actually turn on a light here. Let me go turn on a light, and we'll see how this does in better lighting. Right, I got a little bit better light to work with now. Seems to have mostly just been a fart in a whirlwind. Well, there we go. You can actually see these cameras now, at least. This is what they look like. What happens if I put macro on? Yeah, you can get a good idea as to what they look like. I wonder if it'll focus on it. I guess it's a little too close, but anyways, that's a VM-RZ1. And this is a Panasonic Camcorder, what was the model on that? Like IQ something, blah blah blah. I can look at it. PV-IQ403D-K. Okay, so that's the model on that. I'm going to try the Video 8 unit first though. Which, by the way, this is also a Video 8 unit. So we're going to go ahead and we'll try the Sanyo. Alright, it looks like it's working. Now, I was told that these didn't record, so this is very, very interesting. But I was told that one of them worked, and I've already seen the one that I think worked. It's down here, the Samsung. By the way, that is a Samsung EC, or VCE805N, Video 8 camcorder. You can see it's obviously full-sized, for a Video 8 unit anyways. But I'm pleasantly surprised that this seems to actually be recording. I have to think that one of these is not. This one's actually got a broken zoom control. Or it seems to have a broken zoom control, because I'm pushing down on telephoto right now and it's not actually zooming. So, could be a broken connection, and apparently my telephone has decided it's going to ring! And interrupt my video, but whatever. I'm just going to keep on going. Okay, what was I going to say? Oh, right. The low light sensitivity on this seems to be a little wee bit better. If only by a wee bit. And it also seems to have less of a wide angle on the lens. I wish the zoom control worked, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to. And I don't have the remote control for this as far as I know. So apparently this is just going to be a zoomless camera. So it'll be useful on the live show. It probably will end up being a, it'll end up being the outdoor camera, because I don't really need zoom for that. It'll either be the outdoor camera, or it'll be the camera that sits right there with all that crap. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try out the Panasonic now, and we'll see if I've got my bits flipped and it was only one unit that didn't record, or if it was in fact 2 units that didn't record, and one of these units hasn't been recording this entire time, or if there's been a little bit of a mix-up that's going on here. I know that the microphone... Okay, I'm having to make a quick add-on to this video. I'll turn that off because it's incorrect. This Panasonic Camcorder right here, what is this? This was a PV-IQ403D-K. Picture is absolutely stunning on this camera, but it won't record. What it does is, well, what it did do is originally it was recording okay. Picture looked great. I was talking about that, and I tried to do something. Oops, there was the focus. But I was trying to show off some stuff, and it wasn't focusing correctly. So I decided I would stop and use a different camera, and then I was using this tape. I went to go record this tape into the computer, and let's take a look at what we get. Go ahead and we'll throw up tape on this. I don't know if it's tried to launch my tape or not. It certainly sounded like it the second time I tried recording. Alright, so we're going to push play, and we'll see what happens. Take a close look at what goes on there on the screen. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. But that's what the picture looks like from that camera. Little wee bit of a problem, and I just realized that I was actually recording that the whole time, so that could be a problem. But it doesn't look very good at all. So I wonder if maybe I junked my Video 8 tape over here. No, my vhs-c tape, I'm sorry. Hope not, because that'll really make me angry. But, of course, I didn't realize that until after all of this shenanigans took place. What I actually did is I tried running this through it. It's a TDK head cleaner. Maybe it just broke it. That's certainly possible. I don't really know. I've never used a head cleaning tape in a vhs-c unit, so it could be that that broke it. I would certainly hope not, but either way, it sounds horrible otherwise. Like, it sounds, even without the tape launching noises, it sounds weak, and it sounds, it sounds really, really horrible. So I just decided that, well, you know what, I'm not gonna give this thing any more of a shot to try and record. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to take this, it's going to become a studio camera. And what it's probably going to end up doing is it's probably actually going to end up replacing the Sony that I lent to Ross. And it'll replace that on a full-time basis, because I think that this has got a better picture on it than does the Sony. So, which is odd. You'd think that the Sony would have a better picture, being as though it's a Sony. I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to see if I can maybe record this externally. Record from this externally. I'm going to try and take it, and I don't know if I'll put it direct into the computer or if I'm going to throw it into that thing over there. This is the Samsung. I don't know if I can do it on this. This should have video outputs on it. Alright, I am actually having to voice track this right now because it turns out that audio isn't recorded when you try this. But right now what I'm doing is I am recording video from the Panasonic vhs-c camcorder on the Samsung that I forget the model number of already. Both of them, in fact. I'm watching Might Be Boring at this particular point in time. You can see that there on the screen right now, and this stupid bird clock is going off. That's going to totally distract me while I'm trying to do this stupid voiceover. Okay, looking at more stuff. I don't really remember what I talked about in this, so I'm turning the display off on the camera, and I'm turning it back on. Probably remarking that it seems to be working just fine. The picture looks awesome from this camera. It really does. Like, look at that color saturation. That's almost excellent. Probably almost perfect. I still haven't showed off the camera that I'm using to record this with. But I just remembered the model number right now. It was a PV-IQ403D-K. It's a Panasonic. And the Samsung unit was a VC-E805N. There I'm showing off the zoom functionality of the Panasonic. And some of the focusing. I found that this thing doesn't really focus all that well. There's another bird clock that's going to annoy me. There's the camera that I'm using to record this with. And a bag. That's a camera bag. There you can see the Samsung. It looks pretty good. So this thing I remarked at this point, I think that it had the best low light sensitivity of any of the cameras that I actually tried out, because it actually is really good. There's a Sanyo. That's the Sanyo that I got. What is that? I have it sitting right here. It's our VM-RZ1. And that's probably exactly what I'm talking about right there. Trying to get it to focus on that, not having much luck because the focus on this particular Panasonic camera is not all that great. There's more look at the Sony. Focus destroyed itself. I think I was talking about at this point how the Samsung uses a proprietary power supply input where the other two are just standard. And I think maybe I said something else, some other things. Yak, 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 yak. Lot of talking. I really don't know what I was talking about because I didn't script it and I didn't really, I didn't think to say what I was doing because I've never had a camera that didn't output audio before. All my other ones do, at least as far as I know. So, there you go. I've never really tried recording from all of them this way, but you can tell I'm a little tired at this point. So, I'm talking about the Sanyo again. I don't really remember what I all talked about. Don't really know what to say here, other than maybe this was an overview of the controls, which is certainly possible. What can I think of? What would that actually be? I don't really know. a lot of filler talk going on here. Boy. It's just a lot of looking at cameras. Oh, there's another camera in that bag. I think I'm talking about it, the PV-IQ403D. And I'm thinking about, pondering about what camera should go where in the studio setup. Don't really know what all I said other than what I've said previously in the video. I think that PV-IQ403D is going to be part of the studio setup as well, but I don't really know yet. I haven't just made that decision, so we'll see how that ends up working out. Not really sure how much more blathering I'm doing in here because I've already, talked for almost 4 minutes. I think I said something about the PV-IQ403 looking similar to the 403 that I'm recording that video with, although it's got a little bit of a different interface. The interface on the Panasonic 403 that I'm recording that with right now actually looks more like the PV-11D that I have, whereas the interface on the 206 looks like the 457 and the 608 that I also have. And then I showed off the camera that I was using to record that with, or tried to anyways, and it didn't really work. And that's it.
Alright, back at the helm of the Samsung, which while it doesn't have the low light sensitivity of either of those two, it's got a working zoom control, and the focus also seems to work. If it wants to. There we go. I actually did that manually, if you were wondering. It's not in manual focus mode, but you can actually focus this thing manually if you so desire. So if we go ahead down here to this mess, once again, here we've got the Sanyo, I'll put this into macro mode, the Sanyo power supply, that's what it looks like. The Samsung is underneath it. Trying to do this manually is not a fun proposition. And the Panasonic, I think most of you have seen my videos of my Panasonic cameras and know what the Panasonic one looks like. So we're going to skip that. I'm still thinking that some of these are just going to be studio cameras instead, because I only need so many cameras to do other things. Alright, so I think that's going to conclude the video. There's not really much else I can think of to say here in this video, provided all of these were working. So, thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. No, I should check. I should see if this thing's got a zoom control on it. Or not a zoom control, wow. A fader. I think it does. Actually, it does. I'm not sure if it's push and hold or if it's anything like that. No, it's push and hold. Okay.
Holy crap, yeah, that picture is like horrible. But it's working, kind of. And then the picture output just died. Yeah, that stinks. Ugh, yeah, holy f***, that stinks.